Are you there, William?
I'm here.
Okay, I don't see you.
I can see you.
Okay, cool. There we go. There we go. There we go. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Yonder Presents. I'm on the Urban Centennial. We were having technical difficulties, but we're here. Let me introduce my guest. This guy's a superhero, writes sci-fi comics and a whole lot of other stuff. His name is William Ricker. Welcome to the show, William.
And thank you for having me on there. And I'm great to be on here.
Okay, tell us. Okay, we're going. This is called Conversations with Friends because I consider anybody I meet my friend. But now after meeting you
Yeah.
personally, you made me excited again about writing. I wasn't not excited, but there's not a whole lot of young folks in this arena anymore. Most of us are old heads. And if I do meet young folks, they're children, which is really good because that means they'll be the future. But your age group, we don't see a whole lot anymore. And
Mhm.
tell the folks about you.
All right. Well, my name is William Ricker. I'm born and raised in Tampa, Florida. I've been writing since I was 10 years old and poetry since I was 13 years old. I always loved the Marvel and DC universe, TV shows and movies. And even growing up, watching Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, seeing like the different worlds, like in sci-fi or adventure and anything in that realm. And that started to formulate ideas for my many stories that I would been writing over the years, and then it transformed into my sci-fi novel, which we'll get a chance to talk about later on. And I'm so happy that I was able to publish it this year.
Okay, cool. Okay, so you say you've been writing since you're younger. Uh, well,
Yes.
how old are you now?
I am 33 years old.
Okay, used like I said, used when I do tours and things. Like I said, I don't see a whole lot of young folks writing. Don't really don't see a whole lot of reading. It's usually a younger, really younger, under the age of 15 and older, 40 and over, at least. I
Wow.
mean, and I'm so glad to have met you. And the the genre which you write is so exciting because not just what's going on with Black Panther, but I'm an old comic book kid from back in the day, DC Marvel, DC comics and everything, many pages, all that type of stuff. So I was
Mhm.
very excited to see you, and I wish you had your uniform on. Tell them about your character, your the whole piece that you had. What tell them about what that is.
Yeah. Well, I got a chance to wear my Pulsar cosplay costume a few days ago at the Tampa Bay Urban Futures Festival slash the first ever Comic Con that they was having this year.
Hmm.
So my character it's basically a protector of the Earth's energy, and it's one of the fractions in my sci-fi novel, The Reshift Pulsar Saga Origins. So I got a chance to get creative from someone in Georgia. She's actually a HBCU grad. She has been doing costumes for a very long time, and she got a chance to work on my costume, but it has blue and black. I have the gloves. I have the belt, and even other items for my suit. And I've been able to wear it on my book signing events and even the festival that I attended a few days ago.
Oh, cool. That is so cool. Okay, so you said you
It,
started writing when you're younger. So what's your genre that you write? I mean, I know you write numerous genres. What genres do you write?
I besides science fiction, which is my main one. I besides science fiction, which is my main one, I have dived into um adventure, mystery, even like reading like Sherlock Holmes a little bit here and there, and even um some like let's see, probably about maybe a little bit of thriller here and there.
Mhm.
So I dive into a little bit of those genres, and I'm open-minded to any genre. But right now I'm focused on the sci-fi. And if you want to actually see my costume, I can actually get it real quick if you want to see it.
Yes, 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 yes. Folks want
Give,
to see. Yes.
give me one moment.
As he goes gets his outfit, I want to say even more about him. When I met him, he had the outfit with him, which was crazy. I was like, we do book signings. There it is.
Yes.
There it is. I mean, really, you don't see a real live superhero, and you don't see folks that look like us that write in this genre most a whole lot of times. I met a few, but they were older They were older gentlemen. We don't see people your age writing it, and that's so
Yep.
good. That brings writing. That brings a whole different light to writing,
Right.
and it makes it exciting because you see murder mysteries, you see this, you see erotica, you see all sorts of other writing, but you don't see that excitement and like that superhero to bring us back to our own childhood to make us feel good about life again.
Right.
I mean, and I think that's commendable. I mean, really, and then you don't see them that look like us.
Correct. And that's what even when I was growing up, I didn't really see much of us on
Mhm.
television. And even when we got a chance to see Black Panther and other characters that look like us, there needs to be more of us in that industry. And I've seen it at the Comic Cons that I attended for the first time in Tampa, where there is. Um, a lot of us that are into cosplay and into different characters and and all that. So there needs to be, more of us in that industry to showcase representation and show us who we are authentically.
Okay, how do you develop your characters?
Ah, so over time, I was able to create my characters, like, say, for instance, my character. Some of them are could be historical figures that I've done research, like Norris Herndon and Alonzo Herndon. Alonzo Herndon was like the first black millionaire in Georgia, and his son was also a part of a fraternity in HBCU. So I also incorporate them into the storyline in a fictional way, but also stay true to who they are. And even with some of the characters, I would write down like the height, the description of each one, the weight, what their relationship, what they're feeling, and even their suit designs. I would think vividly like what color it should be, what weapon should they have, whether it's just a simple weapon or just say something that's different and creative. Even with um the storyline of what they're going to do throughout the story. How is that going to be impactful once you read the storyline? So I go through the process by writing the details and doing research, and even put myself included some of the historical figures, and even some of my work colleagues that are also some of the characters in my story as well.
Okay, so what you're saying is, and another phrase of this, like you say, like Superman is Clark Kent, right? So you telling me you got a rich dude from HBCU who's a superhero.
Yes.
I like that. I like that. I mean, that puts all the things. He's intelligent, he rich, and he's superhero. Come on, come on. We don't get them all. You
Yeah.
you put them all in, and that's so dope in his own way. I mean, really, that's just a whole different character. Not just some old dude just flying through the air. First of all, he's intelligent. He
Yep.
got money. He's helping because that's what he wants to do. So that's
Right.
a whole different character. I like that. I like that. I think folks would love to get to be part of it. One of the things I try to do because I watch numerous podcasts and I've been on numerous radio shows and everything. I try to get folks to plug their stuff right now before the end because people plugged in, they'll be like, where you at, where you at? So go ahead and plug all your social media.
Sure. My social media handle, if you want to see me on Instagram, is Ricker, Ricker dot Will. On Facebook, you could just find me, Wim Ricker, RSP, which is the small acronym for my story. And if you want to see me on TikTok, it'll be ricker.will92. And and if they want to see more of my social media handle, they can go on my Linktree profile, which will be Ricker 92, and they can see all my content, all my social media, and even my Amazon book links, which will be the Reship Pasta Saga Origins, including my teenage comic book and my children's book as well.
Okay, so you say you write sci-fi,
Yes.
adventure, mystery, poetry, and thriller. So you a poet also?
Yes, I am. I've been writing poetry since I was 13 years old. And the backstory of that was when my adopted mother, who had a collection of poems that she was not able to publish, so I got a chance to read all her poems. So I wanted to give it a try, experience it, and see if I was able to write a poem. And poetry is like a form of like a song, a rap, or anything with any rhythm that comes with it. And there's nothing wrong of going outside the box of it and show your own creativity. So I was writing some poems throughout the years in college and even I have like a collection of poems that I have right now, whether it's personal, like part of my life through my adoption story, or some fictional things that I want to dive in, whether it's through college coursework that I had to do some poetry um, assignments, or just anything that I wanted to share for everyone.
Okay, I understand that because I became a poet and a spoken word artist later on. When I first wrote my first book, 21 years ago,
Oh, wow.
I just used poetry to cover pages. I wasn't a real poet. I was just thinking of stuff. And as life went on, my poems became a bigger part of my book. And then there are numerous poems in each book. I pause and do a poem towards what's going on in the story. And like I said, originally it was just to kill pages. I was just trying to make the book thicker. And as I realized I had it, and like I said, I'm with you. I write out the box. It has nothing to do. There's no rhymes in there. And I've called a poem. A poem is a song with no hook. That's all it is.
Yep.
Like you said, you gotta have the rhythm. It had to have something going on with it. And so I understand the poetry side. I've actually even do spoken word now myself. But it became part of the, like you said, it was a rhythm. Once I got it, I was like, when I first wrote it, it was like, okay, whatever, whatever, whatever. Okay, I'm just killing pages. But
Mhm.
and folks started asking, who you wrote the poem to? I was like, you like that? I mean, because I don't write, they don't rhyme, so
Mhm.
they have reason and meaning, and sometimes dark meaning, sometimes sexual meaning, sometimes just meaning of what's going on with the whatever's going on in the page before. And I really got good at it. So I'm a poet now, and I guess and I do spoken word now too. But it came along with the journey. As you write, you get better at the journey. Your first book, as I say myself personally, folks love my first book. I don't, because I'm a better writer now.
I understand that.
I'm a better writer now, and it just comes with territory. And then my second book is like a cult following. I don't like that one either.
Hmm.
I liked it when I wrote it, but as I developed more into an artist and a better writer, I like, oh man, but that's where I was at those ages and everything. And as I write more and more, I was like, man, and that one right there, ha ha. As you write more book, how many books do you have out now?
I have my first sci-fi novel and my teenage and children's book out right now.
So your teenage book, you look at that, it's nice, but you say, nah, I'm a better writer now. I mean, it just comes as a part of territory, which is
Yeah,
hilarious because
yeah,
you see your own growth in not knowing that you're growing. You know.
right. Yeah, through this process with writing and revisions, and just like with my first book, it came with a lot of late nights, early mornings, writing every day, and making sure everything was flowing correctly, and just going through the process by making sure everything was good before I got a chance to publish it. And with writing. It, like you said, with the first book, you live and you learn, and you do the second one, the third one, the fourth one, and it becomes better over time. When you know what you have done before, and you're able to know what mistakes that you can prevent from happening with your next future projects as well.
Okay, that's your book that you're leaning on now, right?
Yes, it
Can you
is.
show it? Can you show it so folks know what it is?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a screenshot of that. We'll have it on social media. We'll upload this stuff later on tonight and tomorrow. We'll be loading the rest of the week. That's it right there. Great piece of work right there. Well, tell me this. Okay, so are you self-published or are you with a publishing company?
Self-publish.
Okay. Tell us the journey on that.
A lot of research, a lot of trial and error. I
Hmm.
had to go on Upwork to find like an editor, an illustrator, a graphic designer. It was one of my good friends that was able to do the graphic design for my front cover of my book, and I envisioned on what I wanted the front cover to be, including the back cover and the illustrations. I just like with the characters, I wanted the characters to come to life and spread through the story as well. So I was telling the illustrator, hey, I want this character to look like this character to look like that. And even some of my work colleagues who are some of the fictional characters in the story, they even had the input of saying, hey, I want this color, I want it to be in this fraction. So they was also part of the process as well, because I wanted to show them of who they are and what they wanted to let the world know who they are as well. And and yeah, it just went through a lot of uh, communication and making sure that I was able to um, get it through the editing process through Amazon. I had to learn Amazon as I went, and that was like the trial and error on that as well. And yeah, I just kept on pushing forward and asking other authors along the way, and I was able to go through the process and what I know now. I know what I will not do for my sequel, which I'll be able to be working on sometime next week.
Okay, what's your writing process? I'm old school, so when we first started, I would write in black and white tablets. Now, I'm not gonna say I'm not old school, but now I do everything in Notepad in my phone and just send it to email, so I have everything. What's your writing process?
Ah. So I do a lot of different things. I I write on a piece of paper on my of my ideas, early morning, late nights, at work, not at work, at home. Anything that comes into my mind, I would write on a piece of paper. Just like you mentioned, I have wrote on the notepad on my phone and put on my email. I even I even did just type it on the computer whenever I had the chance to do it. So those were my techniques through the writing process that I was able to do it that way.
Okay, question for you. Okay, this is a question that I had with our editor today.
Ah.
What do you think about AI?
Ah. I believe AI is a good informative tool, even though it can make mistakes from time to time. It's a good resource to use as long as you don't, go overboard with it.
Mhm.
But it's definitely a guide to help authors or anybody, if you're not an author, but it definitely helps anyone to learn something and be able to go through the process and be able to learn something new. Um, and that's what I have learned with AI, with my journey, because even with my editor, I didn't realize that she was using ChatGPT through the editing process, even though she has done it for over 20 years, but she was able to use that to help her, to help with my project as well. But when it came to the final part of the editing process, I saw quite a bit of errors that I did check, and it became more of I had to look through the entire book myself after I already paid services
Yes.
for. And I'm looking. Now I know she did for over 20 years, and then I seen the errors, and I had to go line by line and say, "Oh, I see one, I see two," and it was just some minor things, whether it was just the color of the suit, or maybe there was a couple of repeated lines, or it was something that we already discussed and it wasn't changed, and I had to rearrange everything by myself by reading the entire manuscript 3 times in a row every single week before I published my book, which I was able to publish on time, actually a lot earlier. But I would say with AI, it's a good resource. You just have to navigate it and just use it, wisely on that.
Okay, because I was told today by a good editor friend of mine that Amazon is deleting accounts that folks use AI as they're trying to write these books.
That's the first time I heard that.
I just was talking to the editor today. She's editing someone's book, and she was told by some of her clients that they had tried to submit their stuff in Viva with all the AI stuff. They didn't go through her first. They came through. They went through AI, because everybody think they can do a book, as you know now.
Mhm.
And Amazon is deleting accounts
Huh.
because of it's not your book as AI did it.
Well, you're still the person that wrote the story. And for me,
But most likely you wrote most of your story. If you don't write most of your story and AI feeds it to you, it's not your story.
I learned from one of my other author buddies has who has wrote a few book wrote like 3 to 5 books, and I actually read one of his books called Self-Publishing from Scratch by Dr. Kiami Alford, and
Mhm.
he mentioned about AI and whether or not, and the question is, are you a writer if you use AI? And the answer is you are a writer, you're an author, you create your story and you use the platform to help guide you, but it does not, it's not creating the story for you. You create the story out of your thoughts, your mind, and what you put in on a piece of paper, notepad, your phone, and anything that you use to create it. And if you need assistance, like a regular editor person, and now, just like with any editor, they're using these AI platforms. So, like I said, like this is like my first time hearing about Amazon delaying accounts, and even with Amazon, it even asks you one part of the of publishing your book, if any of the text, images, and something else, if it's AI related. If it's some, none, or all, it gives you that option for that. But for, like I mentioned, to answer your question, with they shouldn't delete accounts because people use AI for their books. Is you're still creating your story by heart, and you're just using it to help yourself to whether it's like expanding a paragraph or even to help fluff up some of the sentences that you need help with. So I believe that Amazon should not be deleting accounts for writers that use AI. So that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. One of the things I've been hearing from folks who I know who've been working with in the industry for years has been saying that what they're doing was because you can't, they're sending that copywriting and stuff, and basically becomes a suit with Amazon, because if the same stuff is in your book is in 200,000 other books, whose is it? Is it AI's? Is it yours? Is it theirs?
Yeah.
So that's what I, because that's what I've been hearing, the legal side of it, that it becomes a dispute, because if there's so many books with the same one sentence in there, and of
Hmm.
course you would know it, Amazon would know it because they have a bigger look at it. We only know the 10 books that we read, or the 30 books we read, or whatever. But you
Right.
got 200,000 books with the same line in there. Whose line is it?
Uh, With a line like inside the book.
Yeah, and I'm saying whatever. Say you describe whatever description. It was orange with pink lettering, and it was on Third Street,
Mm.
and it's in 200,000 books. I'm just saying. So that's why I heard the legal side of it is really fight. They're fighting with the legal side of it. I don't know how I feel about AI. I just
Right.
haven't come to the terms of it yet. I haven't used it yet, and I'm old fashioned writer. Most time, the only thing I need is some editing in mine. So I don't. I fluff it enough myself. I beat it up enough myself.
Yeah.
I write 5 different genres, so I'm killing you my way.
Mhm. Yeah.
Whatever I'm doing, it's in my own mind.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Before AI even existed, you had to do the old-fashioned way and be
yes.
able to do it yourself. And those are true writers and true authors. Does not take away that if you're using AI, it does not um, devalue your worth and devalue your creativity. With me, I wrote my story, even though I had to use an editor to help me um, uh, use her services to help me with my story as well. And when I heard that she was using the AI services to with the copy editing and the developmental editing, and then the proofreading itself as well, to save her time and everything. But it also resulted that I still had to put the extra work at the end of it after I already paid her, and then that still had to do everything, by myself on that end as well. So with AI, I I have a love and hate relationship with it. So it's like I yeah, I agree with you on that as far
Yeah.
as where I
And I had talked, like I said, it's the funniest thing because just having these conversations with a young lady called me the other day and asked me, a new author, and she asked me, "Hey, so what do I think about AI?" I said, "I don't." And she was like, "What you mean?" I said, "Because my book's already written. I probably have 30 books that's unpublished. So they ain't
Hmm.
even been an editor yet, you know. So I've never been that route. It was never a route for us. So not that saying it's not good because when my first came out, there was no Amazon. People
Right.
don't realize that Amazon is new to the older writer. And there was no Amazon. There was bookstores that didn't let us have books in. So we sold them out of the trunk. We sold them at events, and you sold them wherever you went at. So they were not letting us in bookstores. There
Right.
were a few black-owned bookstores in different cities and different states, and we did tours in those, but we wasn't in the big boys.
Right.
We wasn't, and we're still not in the big boys for real. You have some of the greats who are in the big boys. The New York Times bestseller. Good friend of mine's name is Kwame Alexander. Kwame won the Emmy last year, and I know he's up for Emmy now. But those are different numbers. I call them our off the superstars because their numbers are different than everybody else's numbers.
Hmm.
But there are, like I said, but that was the old fashioned. Like I said, most of us did not have Amazon.
Oh,
We self-published and we had to buy in bulk back then. You know, you can buy one book now, it's self-published. At one time you had to buy 500 books to get a discount.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah. To get a discount. You know, every book now is $3 to $5. Now you had
Yeah.
to buy 500 books to get $3 to $5 discount. That for to be $3 to $5.
Hmm.
You had to buy your books at $10 or $15 a piece. So you bought them $10, $15 a piece, you got to sell them at 20, even though they're not in value at 20 at that time. So yeah, so
Wow.
I feel that some of the modern technology is good. I mean, especially with the Amazon and you can do KDP and stuff of that nature. I
Mhm.
do feel that some of the modern technology is really, really, really good. And of course, there was a social media. We had MySpace.
Yes, yes, I remember that too.
We had
Yep.
we had we had MySpace, so and you had to do your own events and plug in at everybody's events. So I feel that the modern technology has pushed the envelope just about as far as it can, because basically they're writing the books now. But I feel like modern technology has really been good for it, especially with the social media, because you can be on social media all day and push your stuff out there to any and everybody, all different all colors and everything. One time, our books were just stuck in our community because that's the only person. Those only folks we had access to. I
Hmm.
like that the modern technology has put us access to. You can just get into a comic book thing with on Facebook or Instagram, and comic book folks will come to you. At one time, we didn't have those, so I really think that modern technology has really improved on getting that done and everything. So I really like that. And well, question for you: what type of events do you do? I know you do book signings, regular book signings with different folks. What type of book? What type of signings do you do?
My first book sign was like at a barbecue restaurant in Tampa. It was actually Big John's Alabama Barbecue.
Oh, I
So
like
that
Big John. Love Big John, man.
Yep, I actually had that as my first one. The second one was in June. That was the Central Station Barbershop in St. Pete with Antonio Brown, and I was able to have that over there. My third one was in August, and it was at the gaming shop in Brandon. It was called Black Flag Gaming Company.
Mhm.
Uh, And the fourth one, that was actually the Tampa Bay Black Authors Expo, which I got a chance to meet you in person. And the fifth one was let's see, it was let me get so I know I had my festival Comic Con in St. Pete on Saturday, which was hosted by the Pinellas Explorer Arts Project, and it was their third or fourth annual that they was doing the festival, but their first time doing the Comic-Con, and so I was able to wear my costume, interact with the kids. There were other Tampa Bay Black Authors Expo authors that were there, including Tanisha. And there were community tech day. They had like a flight simulation for the kids. And I even had my interview on that day with Antonio Brown. And he asked me questions about my story and what inspired me to be a writer and into that genre. So I was able to present that. So I was able to go to different places that wasn't science fiction related, and any establishment that I seen that had good enough traction for me to do it, I was able to uh, uh, host my book signing events at those places, and then I'll do some different things next year. I went to Comic Con in August for MetroCon and the record Tampa Bay Comic Con, and I want to go to more Comic Cons, not only in Florida but outside of Florida. There
Hmm.
is a black-owned one in Houston, Texas, called DreamCon, and I
Hmm.
want to attend that one. And of course, you have heard like the other Comic Cons, like the the one in San Diego, the popular one that a lot of people go to in San Diego, and yeah, just do different events with my book science and may go back to like the same ones that had a good impact and then go from there.
Okay, and that's a great idea. When I started years ago, and you said the barbecue place, that's where you get your folks from. I have folks, I started doing my first book signing at hair shows, no, the hair show, at beauty salons.
Mhm. Wow.
Beauty salons, because think about it, there are women in there and they readers, and they wait, and they getting their hair done. So they become your fans.
Hmm.
Some of the events I've done, the women who have been at the events are still with me 21 years later.
Wow.
They're still buying books. They're still Facebook fans. They still buying books and stuff. They still telling folks about me. So that's I like what you said, because that's those are the folks. Of course, you do your Comic Cons, you do the big events, but if you get that base of those folks, you wouldn't believe how many will follow you for life.
Yeah, I just did the one, the Global Lit Fest with Stephanie Oten in October, and then the other one was the St. Pete Reed's Lit Fest. So I was also a part of that one in November as well. So it was all about research, emailing, and getting myself out there. And it took a lot of patience, consistency, and was able um, to do all of them. And it has been a rewarding and humbling experience because at first I was just writing my story and didn't realize I was going to be able to finish it. And then once I was able to do that, it was like a sigh of relief. And I'm like, yes, I finally did it.
And see, I always say this to authors that, or folks who say they're going to write a book. The easy part is the book. The hard
Yep.
part is getting this thing out there.
Yes.
The book is that's the easy part. People, we think that's the hard part while we're doing it. But when you finally got it, you say, okay, now what do I do? I mean, I know folks are hire agents and that can be a whole lot of more money, but the marketing side of it is you become a marketer now, and people
Yep.
don't realize that side of it. That's the roughest, toughest, humblest side you'll ever be on. Because I've done book signings years ago where the first book signing I ever done, I sold 60 books. So I thought I was going to be Oprah the next week. Next book signing, I sold none.
Yep. Yep.
I sold none. So I started creating my own fire and my own friction, started doing hair shows. Not only did I do beauty salons, I started doing hair shows. My girl Malika, who's my business partner to this day, Malika does dreads and heads. She's in Baltimore. I started doing big, she would do a big hair show at the
Mm-hmm.
convention centers.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be there with her. So I started doing hair shows. Every year she would do a big bad show. She does like 10 of them a year now. I know she's doing them in different countries now and also in different states. And I started doing hair shows. And folks look for me every year to be the hair show with my next book out. And they bought the book before, they bought the second book, they bought the third book. They looking for you. And another place I always tell folks, it's the folks, you give away more books than you sell, as you already know that. You
Yeah.
give away more books. Another thing I always tell folks to do is, I'm assuming you mail some of your books out yourself personally, right?
So
You mail your books out to people yourself personally, right?
I have done it probably a couple times already.
Give one to the postal lady. Give one to her. That becomes your best person. I have young ladies. I can tell you their name, Keisha, and I can't tell you what her girlfriend's name is. Met them at the post office in D.C. years ago. They're still friends of mine on Facebook. They still buying a book 20 years later.
Wow.
Because think about it, they're in the post office. They know everybody. They know the readers, and most of the authors go to somebody's post office, some UPS place and a UPS place. When you go to UPS, FedEx, and you send the books out, see who in there reader. Somebody in there reader. Hey, next time you come here, I'm gonna bring your book. They looking for you, waiting for you coming there. That becomes what I always tell authors is you don't have to be the mouth if you get a mouth.
Mm.
If you get somebody else to talk about you, you don't have to keep talking about yourself. And old school, I still have books in my trunk to this day. Because who knows when you're gonna bump into a reader.
Yep.
And especially with what you write, your genre with the sci-fi and the superhero thing, everybody got a child.
Yes, they do.
You get that child at 10, you got them the rest of their life. Not only you got them, you got their mama. You got their daddy because they look for something for the holiday season, look for something for their birthday. They're gonna email you, hey, you got a new book out? Because they're gonna get that gift no one else has. That book that
Mhm.
their child likes. It becomes a whole different thing. Like I said, the easy part of this whole journey is writing the book. People don't realize that because it takes so long to get the book. But if you're gonna do that, people don't realize that. If you get that, if you get the marketing thing part right, and we still all working on our own piece of marketing, but if you get the marketing, you can get traction, you can get numbers, you can get notice. And I always suggest too, do as many podcasts as you can, do anything anybody should be on it.
Mhm.
Make your time their time. I mean, make their time, whatever time they need you to be there. I always tell folks that too, because we didn't have podcasts. With nobody putting us on the radio. Was
Yeah.
no wasn't nobody caring about us.
Yep.
I mean, so anytime you ask to do something, do it. And like I said, keep them in your trunk. Keep a book in your trunk in your car. I know in this good hot Tampa Bay weather, they mess up every now and then, but I have books in my trunk right now. So if I'm
Mhm.
out there and I'm talking to somebody, they talking about their reading, let me go to my trunk and get you something. And they be like, oh, that's yours, yeah. And that becomes the relationship and the friendship and the readership right there. And one
Mhm.
person would tell somebody about, yeah, the easy part, let me put this out there to our viewers. The easy part is writing the book. I don't care if you use AI, however you write it. The hard part is putting this thing in somebody's hands. And then, like I said, how did you build up your confidence to say who you are? Because we got the book out. What do we say then? you know?
Right.
How did you build your confidence up to say, okay, I got this book out. How do I sell it? How did you build your confidence up? Because I see you at the book events. I've been to book event with you. Because folks gotta feel us. How did you build your confidence up on that side?
So like with my first event at the Big John's, Alabama, and like you mentioned, I probably only sold like a few books, and I'm like, that was like, because I sent out like a lot of flyers. I even
I
emailed
know.
people. I reached out to people to let people know, hey, I found my first book signing location at Big John's Alabama Barbecue. and gave the time and everything. And I put like a lot of effort
What?
to let people know. And only, a few people that I know personally, and then a few people from work actually did show up, but that was like a small percentage of the
Yes.
people that
And Big
I
John got folks coming through there.
yes.
You down on Saturday?
I was on there it was actually on Memorial Day weekend.
Oh man, they coming through there.
Yes, and
Yeah,
I
I know how
even
you feel, and they're not coming to get the book. That's how you feel, right? They coming to get
yeah.
get them ribs.
Yep, and I even spoke to people that were coming in and said, and I was just practicing. It was my first time and getting used to the process of building my confidence. But hey, I got even with my pitch, over time my pitch got, stronger and stronger over time and became shorter and shorter. And I was able to, let people know. And it was a little rough at the beginning. It sure was. But then I kept doing research, kept on uh, calling, emailing to find like other locations, and I found like other those other locations months ahead after like the first one. After that, I was able to find this one. Okay, I found that one. Found this one. So then, okay, I found like secure locations to do my book signings. And then I did, to this day, I have done a lot of marketing, even dance challenges with my costume, even flyers that I created on Canva to let people know where my book signs would be. I even added like different types of music, whether it's gospel, R&B, old school hip hop, something that's meaningful and powerful, but also upbeat, fun,
Mhm.
exciting for not just for my generation, but for the younger generations way after me, and then of course everybody above my age as well. So I was trying to get everyone to um, excited and be able to see my book. So it was a lot of trial and error. There was a lot of consistency, and there was times I only sold like only a few books, and there was times I only sold like one book, and then over time I was able to sell more books, and like the last event that I was a part of. That was the most that I ever sold. My books, I didn't sell all. I sold more books than I've sold than any of the other events. But with any book that I sold, even if it's just one, it's still an accomplishment of itself
Yeah.
because you found a reader, you got them interested, they want to check your book, and that was still a rewarding part that I grabbed somebody's attention of what I was saying about my book and got them into my book and let them see what my book is about. So it's a lot of, it's not in the traditional publishing way. It's truly not. So it's a lot of hard work and dedication to market yourself and get yourself out there. And it takes a lot of consistency for that as well.
Where do you want your books to go? Do you want movies? You want short clips? You want cartoons? Where do you want your books to go?
A lot of things, whether it's like cartoons, TV shows, movies. I've been hearing from my avid readers and even some of the authors that did my book reviews uh, for for my book. They even said, "Well, when's it gonna turn out to be like a movie?" They see everything like a film, and that's what I've been hearing from a lot of people that I've met along this journey this year, and met interesting people like yourself, Jeanette, Malik, and a lot of amazing authors and entrepreneurs and just people in general in that creative space in general. And I've been getting feedback. Well, when's the second book gonna be coming out for the ones that actually did read it? And even for the ones that did get a chance to read it, I would tell them, hey, I would tell them, hey, I'm still trying to get the first book out to a lot of people, and that's going to take time. I know people will probably think it's like it should be now, it should be quick, it should be fast for the results, but it just takes time with anybody's journey, and you don't, and it just takes that one person to actually read your book, yours, mine, anybody, that right person that will look at your book and say, "Hey, I want to create a TV show. I want to create a movie." So it just takes time to sell more books, get more people to look at your books, and that's the way of life.
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you something that you don't know yet.
Um,
From
okay.
being in off the world,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to do that second book quicker than you want to.
Yep.
And I can tell you that because my first book was only 69 pages. As I had it re-edited and shaped, because I didn't know, like you said, when we got in the industry, we didn't know what we was doing. We just did what we did, and it happened that way. My first book was the size of a regular sheet of paper. It was 8.5 by 11, which is crazy. I didn't know the book had to be another size. We talking 21 years ago.
Yeah.
So when I broke the
Yep.
book down to it was 69 pages at that time. When I broke the book down, when I had it re-edited and fit in the right format, it was a 6 by 9, which made it
Yep.
100, basically doubled it, made it 100 some odd pages. And it took on a life of its own because my book is continuations. I have a 7 book series. I have
Uh,
5 out right now. I have 5 of them out right now.
mhm.
And it's a continuation series. So
Yep.
the thing about it is it came out quicker than I wanted to. Actually, it wouldn't finish yet. I wrote the
Mhm.
first book for myself. The second book became the cult following because after the first book, I write cliffhangers. So I
Yeah.
dropped it off thinking I was just ending the book on my own because I wrote the first book for myself.
Hmm.
And after I wrote the first book, I was getting emails and we were on MySpace and I was working in Washington, D.C. I would see people on the subway. Man, when book 2 coming out, man, you got to do that, man. And the pressure became intense. So what I'm warning you is
Yeah.
your readers, because
Yeah.
this is the biggest part of the marketing promotion, is that your readers want more from
Yep.
you, from
Yep.
you.
Yep.
Whether they're
And
10 years old or 80 years old, they want
yeah.
more from you. They don't want to start somebody else's stuff. They
Yeah.
want more of you. And like I said, it came out quicker than I wanted it to. It was a good, actually, probably one of the better books.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, I ain't ready. Because like you said, you're doing all the stuff for book 1. I ain't got enough sales in this book 1 yet. Everybody don't know me yet. Because
Yeah.
it could be 10 people, it could be 12 people, it could be one
Yep.
person. They're texting you or emailing you every time they see you. Man, we're about to when is book 2 coming out? I'm waiting for that. You know?
Yeah.
So it'll come out. I'm just warning you that
Yes.
I'm warning you. It's gonna come out quicker than you wanted to. So get ready and write it already because and that's one of the things I learned from one of my good friends in the industry who sold a whole lot of books and worked for Random House and Cash Money and a whole lot of the big publishers. He said, "This is the part that you don't like." And I said, "What is that?" He said, when you finally get that person to call you up that want to make it a movie or want to make it want to take you on as a be your client, be their client and everything because they got all the connections to the big boys
Yes.
that they gonna keep on wanting books at that not at that rate. And you're like, what you mean? Because he wasn't explaining it. I wasn't hearing it the way he was saying it. Then he broke it down. He said, my first check was this amount of money. He said, so they told me each book had to be that type of fire. You can't write under fire.
Yeah.
You can't write if they say they're gonna take your money back from you. You follow me? He says,
Yeah.
so just keep writing that. So I'm suggesting you keep writing whatever you're writing, whether you're doing poetry, sci-fi, adventure, keep writing
Yeah.
as much as you can. He said, because when that date come and that person comes to you with the right checks, with the right numbers, with the right movie script, they want more than one book.
Yeah.
They want books. They want each time when you put a book out, it be basically a New York Times bestseller, and they can sell 5,000 the first day, first outing. So I didn't realize that. He said, because you can't write under fire. I was like, you're right. He said,
Yeah.
your creativity works because no one's on you.
Yes. Eh,
And I didn't realize that. So what I'm suggesting to you is keep writing, and those books will pop out of you quicker than you ever imagined, because you got to think sooner or later the day gonna come where they're gonna have the right check with the right zeros on it, and they're gonna say we need 5 books and you only got 2. I'm just saying, not today, but you only got what they have. So they looking for the man with 5 books,
Yeah.
because they're making it a series or mini series or movie this. So so keep writing, and like I said, and that's when the pressure's not on you, because you're writing now that you're not under pressure.
Yeah.
When they call you, or you get the call, you get the knock at the door, and they say, "Hey, we need them 5 books." You got 15.
Yeah.
What else you need? Yeah, because that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest challenge I had. So I just keep on writing. I probably, like I said, I have at least 32 unpublished books
Well,
because I just keep writing.
yeah.
Writing because I know that date gonna come soon. And
Yeah.
I suggest that to folks who I meet in the industry, like, well, I ain't got no more. Yes, you do. Because the day when a day come when you want to retire with that book in your hand, with that uniform on, and your whole character, your whole slew of folks who superheroes in your book, we got to be ready. That's one of the biggest things I tell authors: be ready, because the date and the time, you have no date or no time when that's gonna happen. But when it does happen,
Yeah.
you have to be ready. Yeah. So believe me, that book too is quicker than you know.
Yeah, yeah, I'm already midway through the second and third book, but it's not gonna be 3 books total. I already planned out of what the series is gonna be with the characters and the new characters, so it's gonna be more than 10 books, but less than 20 books on that, and so that I can give you a little of how many books it's going to be for the
Oh
for
yeah,
this.
I understand. My series is a 7 book series. I have 5 of them out so far. Book 6 is actually at the editor right now. And
Hmm.
you talk about marketing and everything. I don't want to put a book out till I'm ready to go on tour and do marketing and everything with it. So I'm holding it. It's been at the editor for a year now. Matter of fact, a year and
Hmm.
6 months. It's done. It's been done. Front cover, the whole 9 yards. But I don't want, like you said, it's the marketing side of it. I need to, what I really want to do, I'm working on that. I really want to bring book 6 out at the event that I'm doing in January at uh the Fresh Book Festival that I do every January in Orlando.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh, I'm not Orlando. I'm sorry, I didn't say Orlando. In Daytona, the Fresh Book Festival is Daytona. So I have everything done. I just need to go and pay the young lady who did my editing and everything, because I want to bring that book out. But like I said, but it's been a hold for a year, about 18 months, because the marketing side of it. I don't want to being out for a while. I don't want to do that until I'm ready. Because being being in the game as long as I've been in it, I
Mhm.
can hold up for a minute. But folks are still texting me from 20 years ago. Hey, okay, book 5 was out a couple years ago. Where's 6? And mine's a 7 book series. So I understand you completely. You said you're gonna do under 10, but you're not sure how many. I
Yeah.
understand you.
Yeah. Above 10, less than 20.
Less than 20.
Yeah.
So you already telling them they got 9 more books.
Or more. Well, it's gonna be more than 10 bucks, but yeah, it's gonna be, yeah. I already planned now as far as what I already know the ending of what the story is gonna be, and I'm gonna be one of the characters in the in the series as well, including other characters that is going to surprise you. Uh, I've been planning all these out and already got my future uh, titles and scripts
Yeah, I
of
understand.
and what's going to happen. So I'm already been planning that out for this year to know what's going to actually happen with the series.
Okay, and also I'm gonna give you something offline too, because one of the places you probably want to start going to are book clubs.
Yes.
They treat you really good. I mean, really, and they're not only your readers for life, they become your friends. I did a book signing years ago at a Cheesecake Factory in Maryland when I lived on the DC side, and I live over there. And they gave me, I have it to this day, they gave me a pocket watch with Yonder on it, and the name of my book, What I Do is Taboo. And I sat with probably 15 to 20 ladies. They fed me real good. They bought books from me. They still email me and text me to this day. And they've been fans. And
Hmm.
not only fans, they friends now.
Wow.
Yeah, so you want to start doing book clubs because book clubs will invite you, and then there's numerous in Florida. I'll send you a link to a whole the for I'll send you the link for the 50s for all the 50 states, and that's all you gotta do is basically email them and say, hey, I'm doing this, or I'll send you. And of course that's a whole lot of free books sometimes, but when they lock in with you, it's done. I
Yeah.
mean, really, they'll email you, check on you, all sorts of stuff like that. So you really want to start doing book clubs and everything too. And then they with having a uniform, they'll have a little party for you. Like I said, they'll buy if it's 15, if it's 20 of them in there, they'll buy 30 books. They'll buy books to give away to people.
Hmm.
And with what you write, they'll bring their kids to your event. You
Yeah.
know, so you get that 10-year-old right now, man, you got him until he old.
Yep. Yep, exactly. And then he'll be telling his and her friends and then spreading the word. Hey, check this book out
Exactly,
and
exactly. You get them there. I mean, get them off them video games and all that nonsense, and get
yeah,
them to some imagination and some adventure. Which I'm glad you. Okay, I think we're about to. I'm looking at my engineer. Give me the light.
yes.
I always say since my conversation is called "Conversation with Friends," give folks something to go on with you. What good word would you leave with me with the folks about writing book and getting into your genre?
Ah. With sci-fi is not just only to escape, but it expands your imagination. It brings the light, the joy, and you don't know where you're going to travel to. Inside the book, you don't know what's going to come when you flip to the next page, and then when you see all these characters come to life and where they are at and where they're going to and any obstacles that they are going through. It's a sense of a adventure, whether it's fictional, because this book is also part of my personal story. For my Benin heritage, as I dive into research and dive into my book. And it has a lot of rich history in Africa, Spain, Atlanta, and my hidden world of Alcanu, which is Emerald City, with all the three fractions that are in there. It's a fun adventure for the entire family, including the teenage and teenage and children's book. So with sci-fi, you can dream of who you want to be in your life, and the sky is the limit. And any child, any teenager can dream of who they want to be. And since I'm following my dream, I want every child to dream of what they want to be in their life.
Okay, well, thank you so much for having me. We'll upload this tonight, and tomorrow we'll blast it out and everything. I'll blast it to you. You can blast your folks, and thank you for coming on my show. And I plan to have you again sometime in early next year. And thank you so much for having me, Mr. William Ricker, everybody.
Thank you, Yonder.
Thank you. Mhm.